Oh, welcome to our channel.
Truth Telling Kids, and don't forget to subscribe.
I hope you enjoy this chess video, part 1.
At the end of this video, you should be able to determine what this figure is, like in all the other figures, of course, not just this one, how they can move and how they can capture other figures. You're also going to be able to determine the coordinates. So, for example, we're going to take this random one. So, A, B, C, D. Oh, it's B. It's in this one. So we don't need to count the rest. B, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's in the third one. We don't need to count anymore. So B3 is our square. I'm sorry about that. And of course, you always start counting from the right side. So the A starts from the left, from where the person that's playing white is. And the 1, 2, 3, it starts from white.
So now let's begin.
We're gonna start with the pawn. It's not really my favorite finger. I'm sorry if that sounded like finger. It's not my favorite figure. It's called the pawn. So this pawn starts on the second row. There are about 8 pawns on both sides. So this is for white, and black has its own 8 pawns. Pawns can move 1 space up and 2 spaces up, but 2 spaces up. Sorry. 2 spaces up is they can only move 2 spaces up if they're where they started, which is the second row from the other pieces, because the other pieces would be behind, like here. That's an example. So here they can move like this, but they can't move like this anymore. They can only move like this.
So after you move 2 spaces from the second row, you can't move an additional 2 spaces up.
Yes.
You can only move 1 space or diagonally unless there's a figure that you capture.
And if you're confused, like if you move here and then you think you can do it like this, you can't. Even though it's before the second row, you chose to do this.
Yeah. So now let's go to our next figure, the knight.
So we're gonna get to that next. How do we include the knight right here now?
I really like the knight. It's my favorite figure. I can't wait to go to it.
Oh, sorry. So for example, if my figure was here and yours is here, which is pretty much impossible because I move first. No, it actually is, my bad. If this would be here, then it would be impossible because one move, another move, and then another move would be there. So for just saying, if it would be here, it would need to be the other person's move. And for him, the other person, if they capture here, would be no problem for him. Not a disadvantage. But if I captured here, I still gain at 1 point because these are worth 1 point. But I double pawns. And that's not really good for this pawn because this pawn can't move forward. It's in front of him.
And one thing to always remember, your pawns cannot go back.
Yeah, they cannot move back.
It's a rule.
Like I said, just saying again, these are 1 point. And on our set, they look like this. Maybe they look like something else.
And the pawns are located at the second row.
Yeah, from like 1 row ahead of your other pieces where they start. That's where they start. Now we're gonna move on to the knight. Should I keep this here?
No, you can take it out. My favorite figure. If knight's your favorite figure, then put it on the comment.
Put it in the comments below. And it's just to point out, if you play chess, click the like button. And if you never knew how to play chess, just click the subscribe button.
If you want to learn more, then you should watch all our videos.
Let's wait till somebody subscribes. Oh, somebody subscribed. Let's go on. Okay, knight's here. Oh, yeah, knights always move in the L position, so they move in L, 1, 2, 3. It's kind of like an L, you can see. So knights move 2 spaces up and then 1 space to the right, or they can move 2 spaces up, 1 space to the left. Any L-shaped position, like this,
Any L shape, basically.
Yeah, and the L shape would be 1, 2, 3 spaces, and then 1 space to the right or left.
They are worth 3 points.
Yes.
And they are located in the beginning of the game at the first row.
This position. They can capture like this, and they can always move like that, unlike the pawn. The pawn's the only finger like that.
Yeah, example is, let's say there's a bishop right here. The knight can go to L shape, so it would capture the bishop.
And the bishop is out of the game.
And you have it.
Yes.
And
So that's the knight. Also, the knight, unlike many figures, it can move to different color squares. And the pawn can, but like with the bishop, it can't. If it's a black, it always stays there. With the rook, it's different, but it's one of those figures.
now let's go on to the bishop.
Yes, the bishop. I really like
The bishop always starts in the beginning of the game in the first row. It can only go diagonally.
Yeah, F and C. 2 bishops.
There's a
They
black
go
bishop
diagonally.
and a white bishop.
They can move diagonally, but they can't move like this, like men, of course, because that's kind of wouldn't be fair. Because
That's checkers. Similar to checkers.
similar, I guess. So the bishop is worth 3 points like the knight. They are both minor figures. They're minor. The rook and the queen, they are major figures.
So now we know
And now our set, this looks like this.
Now we know our bishop. Let's go on to the rook. The rook is always located at the first row in the beginning of the game.
At the corners of the board.
Yeah. So they have to start either at A1 or A8.
So they move straight back this way. So when the rook is in the middle of the board, it's the best because it can move like this. It has 4 different directions. If it's in the corner, it only has 2. If it's here, then it has 3.
Yeah. The rook is worth 5 points.
Yes, 5 points. This is how it looks now set. They are a part of the major. They're like major pieces.
Yeah.
So, major
Now we're
figures.
going to our next major figure. It's worth for the most points. It's located at the first row.
Yeah, and do you know, many people get confused when they set up their chessboard. So sometimes some people put it like this, and then like this, and with the pawns all in front like this. And then the bishop here and right there. It's not correct. And do you know why? The king's here and the queen's here.
The queen is a white.
It's always on its colored square. So
Yeah.
if this is black, then it needs to be on the black square. This is a white queen, it's on the white square. That's how you know.
Okay, now let's talk about the coordinates. After we get through some examples.
So just to finish up with the queen, yeah, he's kind of very excited about those coordinates. So basically the queen, for now I can capture it. The queen can move diagonally straight. So the queen is really good when it's in the middle of the board, but it's not good if it's in the middle of the board when the game just started, the debut. Because the debut is when you should be developing all your fingers. Did I say fingers? Figures and getting them out where they started. But you really want to get out like the minor and major pieces. You don't really want to get the pawns out. The pawns, it would be a lot better. Most of the openings start moving with the pawn. Really, it's very good to start with moving with the pawn because the only figure that can skip is the knight. It's really the only figure. If something's in front of it, it can jump over it, unlike other figures, because here it can't jump over. but it can go here. That's one cool thing about Knight.
And if you're wondering how to set up the chessboard, we will be showing that in our next video. So I hope you're looking forward for that if you do not know how to set up your board in chess. Now let's go into the coordinates.
Okay. On most chessboards, it's not written. Here, since this is going to be the white side.
So we have the columns and the rows.
Yes. So here we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up to 8, and A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So the reason why we have only those letters is because it's an 8 by 8 board.
And that will equal 64 squares in the chessboard, in case if you didn't know that.
Yes. So the A always starts on the left on the white side. So the left of the white side, since this side is white and this is to my left, A is going to be here. And then it also starts from here, the 1, and it goes up to 8 back down here.
Have you guys spotted a mistake where you have to put your pawn? Yes or no? Okay guys, you could have paused the video to answer this question, but the answer is no. You were supposed to put the pawn on the second row.
So if you said it is, then you are wrong.
And you
It should be on the second row. And if you said no, then you are correct. It should be on the second row.
If you got it correct, good job.
Great job. So now we're gonna look at the coordinates. So for the coordinates, it's like, did you ever hear about the coordinate plane? Coordinate plane is very similar.
Yeah, it's like a mat.
Except like coordinate planes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it goes up to 10. Usually 1, 2, 3, and it also has but it would be only one quadrant. But it would be also 2 more spaces in there usually. So you're gonna start with the x-axis, which would be this. For me.
So it would be the rows?
If you're watching this, it may look like this or this. But for me, that's going to be the y-axis.
So from your screen, this will be your rows.
Yeah, so this is the y-axis and this is the x-axis from where I am, because this chessboard is faced this way.
And you can say that this is the column and that is the row.
So like in coordinate plane, you start with the x-axis and then you go to the y. For example, here in coordinate plane is 1 and a 4. So this is 1, 4. But here you would say A4 because 1 would be an A. And then you say A4 without the comma. So, do you think you need more examples?
Yeah, let's give an example. Now let's start with, what is the coordinate where this bishop is on? We will give you 10 seconds to think. Actually, we'll give you like 3 seconds. You can pause the video.
No, you know what? It's going to be a lot harder for you. So how about you say this would be your x-axis and this would be your y-axis and figure this out. So it would be easier for you. This is the x-axis, y-axis basically. Letters here, numbers here. See if you can figure it out. Okay, so I forgot to say, this would be white. White. So if this is white, then what would be the coordinate? Sorry, I didn't tell you that. Okay, if you said E3, you're correct. If you said D3, you were close. I'm not going to go over all 64 coordinates and say if you're correct or wrong, because there's only one of them that's correct. But A, B, C, D, E, 1, 2, 3, E3.
So guys, if you want more of these problems, then go check out our next video next week. And thank you for watching this video, and I hope you subscribe to our channel.